Hi, my name's Avery, and I chose to do my informative speech on Mount Airy, Maryland, which is a town in Maryland. And why Mount Airy, you might ask? It has small town charm, rich history. It also has very beautiful parks and a really friendly community. So let's go over some of the history of Mount Airy. Mount Airy has a really rich history. It was established in the 1800s, and it grew because of the Baltimore and the Ohio railroads, and those encouraged businesses to grow. And it also had a really good farming community. I found this all on the Mount Airy Museum, which the Mount Airy Museum has an online site, and it also has a building in downtown Mount Airy that you can actually go into, which is pretty cool. Parks and recreation. So like I said, there's many beautiful parks like Watkins Park and Memorial Park, which are just two of the bigger parks in Mount Airy. And then there's also walking trails, sports fields, and playgrounds everywhere. Some local attractions and places to go would be Main Street shops, which are all along Mount Airy Main Street. There's tons of local shops you can go to, whether it's food or just little boutiques and things. There's an antique store. And then they have a restaurant that's been around there for a while called the Mount Airy Tavern. And then there's also Memories, which is another really popular restaurant that a lot of people like to go to. And then an ice cream shop, which is called Jimmy Cone. And they only have one in Mount Airy, and then they have one a town over in Damascus. The community events that happen in Mount Airy, there's a couple of them that are really special and significant. 4th of July fireworks, they are huge, and you can see them all across the town. People sit at parks and everything, and they're just so beautiful to watch. They also hang up a really big American flag on a crane every 4th of July, and you can see it over the whole town. It's pretty cool. And then they do Memorial Day tributes on Main Street, all on the light posts, and it's honestly such a cool thing. And then they decorate downtown for Christmas. And then there's just 2 carnivals every summer, which are held by the fire department as a fundraiser, and those are always really fun to go to every year. And then there's the Watkins Park Farmers Market in the summer, which is every Wednesday afternoon, and there are tons of local businesses from around Mount Airy that go there and do a little farmers market. Now, the community in Mount Airy and why it's such a great place to live is it's very safe and family-friendly town. It also has really strong volunteer organizations, as well as school events and community involvement, because the community is just so involved with everything that goes on. So to come to a conclusion, Mount Airy it's more than just a little small town. It has, like I said, rich history, outdoor recreation, local attractions, strong community, and it's overall just a great place to be. Everybody's so joyful there, and it's so peaceful. There's just something about a small town. And for my references, I use the Mount Airy Museum, which I mentioned earlier, the Mount Airy Main Street Association, the Mount Airy Volunteer Fire Company, the town of Mount Airy as well. And yeah, thank you for listening.